Today's lesson is called Soap, Superhero in the Fight Against Coronavirus. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
My name is Roger, and today we're going to talk about something that we use to clean ourselves. And it's not shampoo, and it's not disinfectant spray. We're actually going to talk about soap. And when you buy soap, of course, you buy a bar of soap, or maybe you buy that liquid soap in a bottle. But either way, soap is very effective in cleaning your hands and killing viruses.
Yeah, soap has been great for a long, long time. Yeah, some people, they swear by hand sanitizer. And I guess that works to a certain extent, or spraying your hands with ethanol. But can you replace soap? Not really. Good old-fashioned soap is still awesome, still great, and it's especially great when it comes to fighting the coronavirus. Yes, soap is a superhero in the fight against the coronavirus. Yay, soap. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break. But when we come back, we'll discuss the first part of our lesson on soap.
Soap, superhero in the fight against coronavirus. By now, we know that soap kills the coronavirus. But how is it that something so ordinary can be so effective? To answer this question, let's take a closer look at viruses.
Okay, let's talk about the contents of today's lesson. We'll talk about the first part here. Of course, we've got lots of superheroes out there, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, but in this particular case, soap is a superhero in the fight against the coronavirus. Now, by now, we know that soap kills the coronavirus. We all know that. That's good. At least something can. Normally, if the coronavirus gets inside our bodies, that could be bad news. We might get really, really sick, we might die, or we might not have any symptoms at all. Who knows? But in any case, it's a good thing that soap actually kills the coronavirus. At least something does.
At least something does. Yes, you mentioned some superheroes not long ago. Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, the list goes on and on. Now, there's a big difference between those superheroes and soap. Soap actually exists in the real world, and yes, it's very effective when it comes to fighting the coronavirus. How about that? Yes, by now, we know that soap kills the coronavirus. Okay, that's been in the news all over the place. But how is it that something so ordinary can be so effective? Yes, it's just good old-fashioned soap. It's been the same for a really, really long time. It's not soap with special antibacterial or antiviral properties. It's just good old soap, but it just happens to be very effective in killing viruses like the coronavirus. But how does it work? How does something so basic, ordinary, how can it be so effective when we need it to be? Well, to answer this question, let's take a closer look at viruses. Yeah, we'll talk about viruses first, and then we'll talk about how soap can knock those viruses out cold. Anyways, folks, let's go ahead and take a short break. But when we come back, we'll learn some more about soap.
These simple life forms are made up of bits of RNA surrounded by proteins and fat. The outer layer of fat holds the virus together and helps it stick to your skin. Washing your hands with water alone won't dissolve that layer of fat. Imagine trying to wash away oil or liquid fat from a dish using water alone, and you'll understand why. But add soap, any soap at all, and it's a whole different story. Soap molecules have two distinct sides, one attracted to water and the other to fats. Thus, one side sticks to the outer layer of the virus, while the other pulls out toward the surrounding water. In this molecular tug-of-war, soap pulls the virus from your skin, breaks it down into pieces, and destroys it.
大家好，第二部分我们看到动词 surround 指围绕、环绕、包围。例如 The fence surrounds the garden 篱笆围绕着花园，或是 When the robber was surrounded by police, he put his hands in the air 当那个抢匪被警方包围时，他把手举到半空中。 另外，这个字的字尾加上 ing 就成了形容词 surrounding， 指周围的、周遭的。举例来说 We sold our house and the surrounding land. 我们卖掉房子和周围的土地。再来，我们看到一个单字 layer， 这个字是名词，意思是层、层次。例如 The cake my mother baked has 6 different layers. 我母亲烤的蛋糕有6种不同层次。或是 This novel has many layers of meaning. It's perfect for bringing up classroom discussion. 这部小说有多层意义，非常适合在课堂讨论。另外，这个字也可以当动词，指使层层堆叠、堆积，像是 Michelle layered her clothing to keep warm. Michelle 穿了一层又一层的衣服来保暖。接下来我们看到动词 dissolve， 意思是使溶解。例如 You should dissolve this medicine in a cup of hot water. 你应该在热水里溶解这种药。另外，除了上面的意思，这个字还可以指解散、驱散。我们可以说 The organization dissolved its governing board and elected new leaders. 该组织解散理事会，选出新的领导团队。再来，我们看到一个单字 distinct， 这个字是形容词，指明显不同的、显著的。举例来说Each type of cheese has its own distinct flavor. 每种起司有其明显不同的风味。或是 This room has the distinct smell of pine. 这个房间有明显的松木香味。另外，这个字的字尾加上 tion 就成了名词 distinction， 指殊荣、特质、差别。我们可以说 Mark has the distinction of being the youngest person to ever win the competition. Mark 的特别之处是这场比赛最年少得奖者。或是 When one of the twins dyed her hair, the distinction between them became obvious. 双胞胎其中之一染头发后，他们之间的差别就明显多了。接着我们看到名词 tug of war， 指拔河比赛，势均力敌的竞争。例如 The bank is in a tug of war with the government right now over changes being made to the financial laws. 银行与政府针对财政法规的修改正在进行角力战。
Okay, as you said, in order to talk about soap, we need to talk about viruses themselves. So yeah, let's take a closer look at viruses. Now, these simple life forms are made up of bits of RNA surrounded by proteins and fat. So here we've got RNA, ribonucleic acid.
Ribonucleic acid.
Nucleic. Okay, there you go. That's the actual chemical name of RNA. So indeed, viruses are simple life forms. Some people think they're alive. Some people think they're dead. But we're referring to them as simple life forms. And they are made up of bits of RNA. So here we've got the phrase to be made up of something. That just means these are the things that make RNA. These are the ingredients that constitute RNA.
So tell me what a virus is, piece by piece, please. Okay, well, viruses are made up of these things. That's the way you would answer a question like that, by saying that something, like a virus, is made up of something else. And yes, viruses themselves, compared to other forms of life, are quite simple. You have some RNA, and that's surrounded by proteins and some fat. So here we do have the word surrounded. If something is surrounded by something else, it's on all sides of that thing. Like, let's say you're leading an army and you get surrounded by the enemy. That means you are in trouble. The enemy is on all sides of you and they're probably going to attack.
Oh no, that would be a very dangerous situation, so you better figure out a way to fight back. Here in Taiwan, of course, it's an island, so we are surrounded by water. And in this particular case, viruses are surrounded by proteins and fat. Now, protein, of course, refers to a type of substance that we usually require in our diet. Protein oftentimes is a non-count noun. How much protein do you eat in your diet? But if we talk about different kinds of protein, 蛋白质 in Chinese, protein, then we can make this a countable noun because there are different kinds of protein, proteins. So it's surrounded by proteins and also by fat. I suppose you could also say fats if there are different kinds of fats surrounding these viruses.
You definitely could say that, yes. Now, the outer layer of fat holds the virus together and helps it stick to your skin. So here we've got a virus, and we're talking about how it is constructed. There are layers to the virus, though not too many. And the first of these layers is the outer layer. I imagine there'll be both an outer layer and then an inner layer. Anyways, when we're talking about a layer of something, okay, we're kind of talking about a level of that thing as far as its construction is concerned. Now, speaking of levels, a cake with multiple levels on the inside is said to have multiple layers.
Layers, right. I understand why women are such good long-distance swimmers is because they have a layer of fat in their body. It keeps them warm in the water, and they're able to swim longer distances than men are. But in this particular case, there's an outer layer of fat around the virus, and it holds the virus together, and that outer layer of fat also helps the virus stick to your skin. Oh no, if it weren't for that layer of fat, the virus would simply bounce off our skin, and we'd never get sick. But that's not the case. We need to figure out a way to get those viruses off our skin. So washing your hands is important, but washing your hands with water alone won't dissolve that layer of fat. Sometimes you see people wash their hands in the bathroom, and they just kind of sprinkle some water on their hands, and then they just shake their hands and walk out of the bathroom. That's going to do nothing to kill viruses on your hands. You got to have that soap.
Yeah, it's my understanding that oil and water do not mix. So let's say you've got something stuck to that fine layer of oil on your skin, like a virus. If you just use water, that oil and water, they're not going to mix at all. Well, soap allows for water and oil to mix. It forms an emulsion with bubbles and stuff like that, and you actually wash off some of that oil and anything connected to that oil. And if that happens to be a virus that was stuck to that oil layer there, congratulations, you're no longer infected, or you're no longer at risk of being infected because you've washed your hands with soap. So that's how soap works. So don't be lazy.
Don't be lazy indeed, because water itself, by itself, won't dissolve that layer of fat. And dissolve just means to break something down. Like, of course, if you put salt into water, you want to stir it a long time so the salt will dissolve in water. But I have trouble getting cinnamon to dissolve in water because cinnamon has a different kind of chemical construction, so it's difficult to get cinnamon to dissolve in water. It usually floats on the top. But in any case here, you want to dissolve the layer of fat. And imagine trying to wash away oil or liquid fat from a dish using water alone, and you'll understand why. So if you do the dishes at home and your mother catches you just using water, she's going to say, those dishes are not going to be clean by using water alone. You've got to use dishwashing soap. You need it to dissolve that grease and to get those plates nice and clean. Otherwise, they're still going to have stains on them. They're going to have oil on them, and that's no good.
There you go. You don't wash your hands with water alone, and you don't do the dishes with water alone either. But add soap. Any soap at all, and it's a whole different story. Yes, soap molecules have two distinct sides, one attracted to water and the other to fat. So there you go. When you use soap and you wash your hands, let's say, you're dealing with both the water and the oil or the fats on your hand. And yes, here we're saying that oil, you can call that a liquid fat. Yeah, you've got soap here. It kind of deals with the best of both worlds there, both the oil and the water. So before, the oil and the water wouldn't mix, but hey, with the help of soap, you can kind of mix these things together in such a way that you can rinse off the bad stuff from our hands, from dishes, you name it.
Yep, add soap, and that's a whole different story. It's a whole new ball game. Everything is totally different. So a molecule basically is when you have two or more atoms stuck together. H2O, for example, is a molecule of water. And we've got these distinct sides. They are totally different and identifiable from from each other. Distinct, something that is clear and something that you can see easily.
Yeah, you might have two distinct sides to your personality. You might be like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Ooh, you have two very different sides to your personality. They are distinct, although Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they didn't actually exist in the real world. But some people do seem to have two distinct sides to their personality like that. Anyways, more on soap. We've got these two distinct sides, and one's attracted to the water, the other to fats. Thus, one side sticks to the outer layer of the virus here, where it's got that fat, while the other pulls out toward the surrounding water. And in this molecular tug of war, soap pulls the virus from your skin, breaks it down into pieces, and destroys it. By the way, if you break something down, okay, you take something that was once complicated and you reduce it to simple bits. So here you've got this virus, and soap apparently is going to break it down into pieces.
Exactly. So yes, we've got this molecular tug of war, which is 拔河 in Chinese. And of course, Taiwan always has great tug of war teams that compete all over the world. So we've got this tug of war going on. It pulls the virus from your skin, breaks it down into pieces, and destroys it. And that's all she wrote. The virus is gone. So there you can see the importance of washing your hands with soap. Don't just use water only. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson. Let's move on now to the third and final part of today's lesson.
Keep in mind that this doesn't happen instantly. It takes 20 seconds for soap to demonstrate its superpower. So, wash your hands frequently and be sure to wash them well.
最后第三部分，我们看到片语 keep something in mind， 表示记住、牢记点点点。我们可以说 keep this advice in mind at all times， 把这个忠告随时放在心上。另外，补充一个同义片语 bear something in mind， 其中的 bear 拼作B-E-A-R, bear something in mind. 举例来说 You can get there by bus, but bear in mind that going by train is faster. 你可以搭公车去那里，不过记住搭火车比较快。
My daughter is now a hand-washing expert. She goes to school here in Taiwan, and they had an entire day where they learned how to wash their hands properly. And she knows that you don't forget to add soap. Okay, washing your hands with water alone, that's nuts. You got to use that soap. And you know what? You also have to wash your hands for a certain period of time to get that soap to actually work. You can't just wash your hands for, 5 or 6 seconds and think, okay, I've done it, I'm done. That's just not going to work.
That's right, and you also need to remember to wash every possible surface of your hands, between the fingers, under the fingernails, under the thumbnails, the back, the front, everything. You have to get everything covered, and also up your wrists a little bit as well. And keep in mind, or remember, that this doesn't happen instantly, okay? You need to do it for 20 seconds. At least it takes 20 seconds for soap to demonstrate its superpower. So here, demonstrate means to show something, to let other people know how to do something or how you can do something.
There you go. It's going to demonstrate or show to us its superpower. But yes, you won't see this superpower if you wash your hands for 6, 7, 8, or even 10 seconds. No. 20 seconds, okay? And that's where soap is really going to start to become effective. It's going to show us its superpower or demonstrate or exhibit its superpower. So, wash your hands frequently and be sure to wash them well. Use soap and take your time. You don't have to put on a timer and only wash your hands for 20 seconds. You can do it for longer if you want. And make sure, yes, you cover all of those surfaces. Let's say you don't know the song. There is a song for washing your hands. Let's say you don't know that song. look up a YouTube video of a surgeon washing their hands before an operation, okay? You will learn that you can wash your hands in such a way that you will be definitely sterile and not carrying any viruses or anything like that. And maybe you don't have to go to the extent that the surgeons do, but you can see that they really do cover all the nooks and crannies of their hands.
And I've actually started to have fun with washing my hands. The whole process is something I look forward to. And the best part, of course, is seeing all that dirty water rinse away after I rinse off my hands afterwards. It is such an amazing feeling to know that my hands are nice and clean. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. But we need to hear from our Chinese teacher, and don't worry, she has thoroughly washed her hands the correct way.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。要洗掉餐盘上的油或者是液态脂肪，光是用水洗是没办法洗掉的。那么课文第二部分就提到 But add soap, any soap at all, and it's a whole different story. 不过加上肥皂，任何一种都行，就完全不同咯。句子里面用到 a whole different story，表示说现在说的跟前面叙述的情况截然不同，就像我们中文说的完全是另一回事。好，那么 story 在这边意思是状况或是情况，意思就等同于 situation。 我们再补充一个相关的用法是 something is another story， 这表示什么什么是另一回事，什么什么就另当别论。这时候 story 它也是状况情况的意思。例如 The food at the restaurant is great, but the service is another story. 那间餐厅的食物很棒，但服务就另当别论了。好，另外当有人他不想要提某件事，或者是不想要进一步说明的时候，常常会用到 But that's another story。 字面的意思是说，不过那又是另一个故事了。那这是用来表达类似说啊，那就别提了，那是题外话的那种意思。好，课文下一句提到说，肥皂分子有分成两个不同的部分，它分成清水端和清油端。那这边用到一个单字是 molecule， 我们来拆解它的字根。好 M-O-L-E mole当单字，它可以用来表达痣，长在脸上身上的那种黑痣，也可以用来指内奸长期潜伏的间谍。好，不过在 molecule 这个字当中，它的字根 M-O-L-E 它表示质量，字尾 C-U-L-E 表示小，合在一起 molecule 就表示分子。那么其实字尾 C-U-L-E 它是 C-L-E 的变形，它们是用来描述小的名词字尾。像我们看到在 particle 这个字 P-A-R-T-I-C-L-E 这个字当中的 part P-A-R-T 表示部分或是一点，那么字尾 C-L-E 表示小，合在一起 particle 就可以指颗粒或是粒子。好，课文第三部分有一句写到说It takes 20 seconds for soap to demonstrate its superpower. 肥皂需要20秒来展现它的超能力。那这边补充一下 take 表示花费需要的句型。take 当动词可以表达花费时间或是需要多少时间。那常用的句型有两种，第一种是 something takes somebody，时间再加不定词，像是 The novel took him only 2 days to finish， 他只花2天就看完那本小说了。好，第二个句型是 It takes somebody 时间加不定词，或者是 It takes 时间 for somebody 加不定词。那这时候 it 是当虚主词，用来代替真正的主词，也就是不定词。例如 It took them 7 years to pay off their debt， 也可以说It took 7 years for them to pay off their debt. 他们花7年的时间还清债务。好，以上今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Surround. Melody's cat surrounded her when she came home from work. Protein. A protein is a substance usually found in many of the foods we eat, such as meat and eggs. Layer.Sunscreen provides a protective layer on our skin to prevent us from getting burned by the sun. Molecule. When some molecules are heated, their chemical structure changes. Distinct.
When you burn this wood, it makes a distinct smell that is easy to recognize.
Tug of war. To end sports day at the school, the children took part in a tug of war. Demonstrate. You must demonstrate to your teacher that you deserve a good grade.
Discussion starter starts now.
Okay, it's time now for our discussion starter, and here is the question. What's your attitude toward hand washing after you've read the article? Will you make some changes to improve your personal hygiene?
Well, I don't need to change anything because I've always washed my hands properly with soap. Yes, I never got in on the hand sanitizer craze or the antibacterial or antiviral goop craze. No. I was always a simple soap and water man, and I remain one to this very day.
Well, I will wash my hands with soap for at least 20 seconds because the article has told me that, and lots of other people have told me that you need to wash your hands with soap for at least 20 seconds. But like I said earlier, this is no problem because I've actually come to enjoy washing my hands. It's something I look forward to every day. But maybe you don't want to do it too much or something. You might actually wash the skin right off your bones.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.